In a recent video, we talked about 9 reasons why people aren't singing in worship and what we as worship leaders can do about that. Well, number 3 is all about making sure we're not singing songs that are too high for the average singer. This video is more of a tutorial video. I'm going to show you my computer in a second, how I pick a song's key. There's an easy way and a manual way. I'm going to show you both. So let's get over to the computer and I'll show you how I do it. Before we get into the nitty-gritty though, I want to remind us why this is even important to talk about. There's a huge vocal range between men and women, and then when you combine them all, you are hitting a lot of notes. And so trying to hit the average isn't going to be great for everyone, but it's going to make sure that everyone's got someplace to start. And so you can see from this chart, there's one of many. This one I got from Sacred Heart Bremen's website.org. You can see where the basses, trebles, tenors, altos, tenors, trebles, female, all the ranges that they hit. A lot of times something to consider is that the people that you're hearing online are tenors for a male, so they can hit those high notes that a lot of people can't hit. Now this is the 9 reasons why people aren't singing worship page from Renewing Worship. And again, number 3 is all about singing songs that are too high. And they recommend going pretty much from a C to C range. So if you look, here's a C to C, that hits the low end of the tenor and treble, middle, upper end of the bass. If you go from this C to this C, then you're kind of getting the middle or low end of the female range. So each group has a octave in there that they can sing. It's not always perfect again, but it's a place to start. Their website, super cool. This, if you go down to the number 3, many resources chart, they've been updating this. So this is their page on how to select a key. They have a ton of stuff talking about their table. Even think about, does the song have syncopation? Are there octave jumps? All sorts of different things to consider that you may not think about. But here we finally get to the table, and I'm just going to scroll down. There's 259 songs that they're showing off. I'm just going to hit number 1 right now because it's the easiest one. So Goodness of God. So if I wanted to sing and lead Goodness of God, I could sing it in whatever key I have it in. Or if I came here, they're saying the ideal keys are in A or B flat, and their favorite key is A. That's not gospel, that's just a suggestion. So I would start with A and see how that feels, see where the high note is, and go from there. They're also saying there's some syncopation that might be a problem, and even like their multi-generation score, which I'm not going to go over, but they have some different suggestion based on making sure the songs are suitable for multi-generations. But they're recommending the key of A. If there's a different song that you're wanting, between 260 whatever songs, you could just search for it here. You could search for it by hitting Control F on your computer. Let's search for Cornerstone, just an idea. Here they're saying that there's an octave jump, that the ideal key is A. They don't really have a favorite key. You see the 2 dots up here, several songs in the range much broader than attainable by the average singer. So they're saying that if you have to do it in A, but they're kind of not recommending it just based on the range of the lowest to highest notes in the song. So you can go through all different songs and use this as a place to start. Now, if I'm manually trying to figure out what key I want to sing a song in, and usually this is faster once you get used to it, I'm going to start with singing it in any key and then try to figure out the highest and lowest note. So here's Goodness of God on worshiptogether.com. And then here they let you pick a key. I'm a guitar player, so I'm just going to start with G. Let's just pretend I don't know they're singing A. But if I start here in G, and I love you, Lord, your mercy never fails me all my days. It's a pretty low song in G, from the moment that I wake. So it gets to a low G, which is not ideal. If you look back at their site, they do say, like, they try C to C is the octave that you're going for, but to extend it a little farther, they recommend A to D with the occasional E flat. So that's where I go. A to D does give you more options because there are a lot of songs that are not within 1 octave. So that hits the goodness of God, hits a low G. So that's not ideal. And then thinking about the highest note, All my life you have been so, so good. It's a high A. That's not bad. So I could go higher. And so the low note's low, the high note's not as high as it could be. So I would just kind of go from there and go up to A. Mercy never fails me all my days, held in your hand. So it does hit that A, that low A. And then for the chorus, and all my life you have been faithful. Life is so, so good. That's a B. So you could go low on that. Oh, I will sing. Or if you go up, that's a C sharp. So A does feel like a really good key for this. Sometimes I may not have my guitar, so I go to a virtual piano. You just Google virtual piano. There's some that are better than others, but you can pluck it around here if you play enough piano and just figure out what is your lowest note, what your highest note is, and then go from there. And remember, again, this is just a suggestion. It's not a gospel, but it's important to think about why we're choosing the keys that we're choosing and who it's helping out the most. Is it helping me out as the singer? Or is it helping out the congregation to be able to sing without worrying about notes being too high or too low? You're not going to be able to please everyone, but you can hit a good majority. I know I'm going to get comments about this, and that's okay. But the point is to keep the conversation going and be intentional with our choices. So thank you for joining me. I hope this helps.